And that is it for qualifying, everybody. Owen on pole position ahead of Passy in second place on the front row of the grid. It's going to be a tough one for the drivers, and the 5 lights build up to 5 now then. 35 laps ahead of us then in the full wet conditions. It is lights out and away we go. Owen off the line well, but all of the drivers crawling down in towards turn 1 in the wet. Passy tries to get a jump on him round the outside line, but not enough grip there to allow him through. And it's Owen still leading through the first corner. Passy holds second place though. It's Lee Boy now being swarmed by Red 44 Dog and Static Lazy, who are making their way through. Lee Boy's still holding third. He's got loads of drivers behind him then trying to make some overtakes here. Traps gets a bit off-putted there. Loses time. Now his rear sliding out, and Deckers, his teammate, can slide through. Into P5 he goes then. Gets ahead Deckers. Traps down to 6. We've got Andrew Pittsmith in P7 at the moment. Static Lazy in 8. We move down to the back, and it is Davey and Speed Free having a bit of, Davey Percival having a bit of a scrap at the back, and Davey really struggling on the rears there in the wet conditions. He drops back a slight bit now then from the Mercedes, who does get in front. Percival with a bit better pace there over the man behind him. But Owen leads through the lap 1 of 35 then. A lot of spray from the drivers. It's going to be very hard to see for them when they're crawling behind. Passy on the backside of Owen here then, and wanting to make a move when possible. Only the first lap of the race, still a long way to go. Lee Boy QAV as well, still holding the podium places, so we might actually get him in the interview room for the first time ever. Passy lines up P2 then at the minute, and through the wall of champions. A bit off-footed there then from Owen, who does get a better exit. Extends the lead a little bit more. Up for him, he slides through the right-hand side here. Lee Boy gets overtaken by Red 44 Dog now. Lee Boy tries to send it again on the Williams up the inside. Is there any gap for him to do so? The rear grip is just horrible then in these conditions, and Lee Boy hasn't got the grip here to try and contest that position. Lee. Oh, look at that from him though, the back end sliding, and that is a big issue for today because of the wet conditions. But is Red going to make the lunge then into the wall of champions? No, he will stay behind. Be mature about it for now, but he is definitely there and ready to take the move to Lee Boy when it is time. Only lap 3 of 35 then, looks up the inside, but not enough room for him to stick the car through. Just waiting and getting ready to pounce as Traps is now being brought into the action. Oh, that was very bad there for the Williams. Cut the corner quite a bit, and this now allows Traps to come through with a great move then. He makes the pass, ladies and gentlemen. Traps through into 4. Red now loses a position. A move through for Owen then. Ahead of the Mercedes, Percival. Percival drops back there then on lap 11 of 35, and Owen makes a great pass in the McLaren, and he gets P5. But do remember, time penalties are on your screen, and they aren't looking too good then for some of the drivers. So Traps 100% holds the advantage over Percival in the Mercedes here at the minute. He does make a pass past him then. Through goes Traps. Owen in 4, Red 44 Dog then in 3, Lee Boy still in 2, Passy still in 1. Is the top 3 going to come in for any intermediate tyres? It's an interesting thing to think about. Fresh out of the pit lane, he'll have a bit more of an advantage then up the inside line. Here comes Lee Boy for 5th position today. He's driven a brilliant race. Can he take 5th in the Mercedes? He absolutely can. He's done it into P5, has the Mercedes. What a move for Lee Boy on his route to taking a podium here in Extinguished Motorsport. Something we don't see very often from Lee Boy, especially in this league. But are we going to see it today? Are we going to get an interview with him later on? Passy has decided to make his pit stop with 20 seconds over Owen. He really does hold an advantage at hand. I don't know if that's going to give him enough to stay in front, but it might well do. Here comes Owen then. Passy coming out of the pit lane. He will stay in front. He absolutely will. Well, let's have a look then, shall we? Lap 27 of 35. Passy is your leader. Traps in 2. They are guaranteed 1 and 2 if they stay like this right now. However, Deckers and Owen do have time penalties of 3 seconds. So they'd all cancel each other out because Lee Boy is 5.9 behind. So Deckers would be on the podium in third at the minute. He would be. That is exactly where he'd finish. We'd get a Deckers interview tonight if it goes like this, and that would be pretty nice, wouldn't it? Speak to Deckers and Passy and Traps as well. Traps and Deckers, I believe, come from the same league, and for them to do well together today is really, really nice. But Static Lazy with a 3-second time penalty. Even more penalties to add to the tally of the drivers now, and a lot of penalties we've seen today. Really, really large amount. But you got to admit, you know, I don't think it's easy in these conditions. Been wet the whole entire race. In front, but Owen bringing himself back in through the wall of champions. This is where he can really gain, in a much better corner there for Owen on the backside of Deckers. This is the move we've been waiting for. Is it going to happen this time around? Then in towards turn one. Deck just has a lot more ERS to burn. He used it all now in towards turn one. Owen surely has to get a warning for that there as he crosses over the circuit quite a bit. Oh, Owen with another penalty. And now he is more than likely going to lose out to Deck, because Deck, of course, 3 seconds less penalties than Owen now. That's not what he wants to be getting. It's looking like your confirmed podium at the moment. Passy, Traps and Deckers. It isn't looking like that's going to change very much at all with the drivers. Passy is checked out today. Run away with it. Traps and Deckers 2 and 3. Oh, Owen sends the car up the inside line. They take each other out. Both of them stopping on the side of the track. Deckers then loses out. Through goes Leeboy QAV. What is going on here then? This is crazy stuff. Here comes Owen now. He's going to try and make a move. Ladies and gentlemen, Deckers loses out. Leeboy is going to get a podium here if it carries on like this. What is going on this evening? Owen's going to try and make a pass through past Leeboy again, but he cannot do so just yet. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Well, here's Passy then, ladies and gentlemen. He nearly loses his rears through there onto the grass trap, but catches it in a slide. And he's given it a really good crack this evening, hasn't he? Passy predicted in the chat then earlier on, before the race begun, he was going to win this race. And look at the course he has taken today. Nearly 30 seconds over Traps that he currently holds into the final few corners, into the wall of champions. It has been an incredible drive for Passy today, and on the second round of the season, he has conquered Canada in the wet. Passy wins the Canadian Grand Prix for round 2 here in Extinguished Motorsports. Traps towards the line. He's 29 seconds behind. What a gap Passy has managed to gain there. Traps on his way down. He will be the driver to take second place today when he gets there. Through the wall of champions we go with a Red Bull. And the first time I've seen him here in Extinguished Motorsports, I believe, he crosses the line then and takes P2 in the Canadian Grand Prix. But the one we've all been waiting for, the one that has been, you know, in the making for a long, long time. Leeboy QAV, after being in the right place earlier on, he heads towards the line, and after driving brilliantly in the wet conditions, Leeboy takes his first podium in Extinguished Motorsports. P3 for the Mercedes with wing damage there as well.